You like sports, Michael Hurley?
Love them. How'd you know? Love sports.
Just random guess. Just shot in the dark. But I, too, enjoy sports. So today's a good day. Celtics game 1. Bruins game 1. Red Sox probably losing to the Tigers again in the middle. Unless they get rained out, which could happen.
Has there ever been a Patriots Day doubleheader?
I was actually thinking that this morning. I have no idea.
They don't come back here.
Tiger, you're right. They don't.
That'd be interesting.
I wouldn't hate it.
Be better than playing in the rain today, but we'll see. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a meteorologist.
I mean, you worked at a TV station for how many years?
12.
Can't you pass yourself off as one?
I did watch a lot of weather. That's like half the news these
Sure.
days.
Yeah, 3/4 of it at least.
At least.
Big time, lead. You do the tease off the top, then you
come back for the full weather, and then you can't sign off without the weather coming back on.
No, you gotta get it there.
They tell you what to wear. You're gonna want a light sweater in the morning.
So it was the bus stop forecast.
The bus stop forecast. That wasn't us.
No.
I don't like the bus stop forecast. I can dress myself.
Grown man.
Adult. Anyways.
Hi.
I hope the Red Sox play.
I do too.
They I don't know if they want to play.
Not convinced they do. Brian Bayo definitely doesn't. He doesn't. That guy stinks. Clay Buchholz. That's who he is. I don't want to open with Brian Bayo because today's a good day.
It's a good day.
And I don't want my day to be ruined by that bum-ass Red Sox team. But hi, Michael Hurley. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm great.
Happy Sunday.
We're here until 12:30. That's when we hand things off to Grandy and Max. You get the Celtics. You get the Sixers. I almost forgot who they were playing because it does not matter. You get the Bruins and the Sabres later on. To me, that's the story today. That's the number one. That's if I'm ranking games I'm most interested in today. Bruins Sabres game 1. It's a crochet start.
He kind of needs it.
Sixers don't do anything for me, but it's a playoff game, so I'll put the Celtics Sixers ahead of that.
Let me say this to you. I was thinking this the other. Thank God it's not the Magic again. We did that last year.
Oh, that was bad.
Saw all I needed to see. They did lose a game. Remember how it was a really weird circumstance at the end? You're like, whatever.
Game 4, game 3.
What a waste of time that was. So I think the Sixers had a little more spunk at least. A little more fight. There's gonna be some weirdness.
There's going to be one of those games in this. Celtics in 5. I think. Is anybody not picking Celtics in 5? Are you picking Celtics in 5?
I think the only people not picking Celtics in 5 are picking Celtics in 4. So do with that what you will. But no, I think they have enough talent to win a game. I think Maxey will go off a game. I think Edgecombe could hurt you if you over commit to Maxey.
It's inevitable.
Paul George has been playing well. I'm not going to sit here and be like Paul George is something you got to worry about in the playoff series.
Paul George is 3 years older than Andre Drummond. I found this out the other night. I could not believe it. Paul George is 35. Andre Drummond is only 32.
Yeah, he's looked 32 since he entered the league a decade ago. So
he is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Greg Oden enters the league, and you're like, this man is 44 years old. and you know what his knees were?
That's true. That's a good point. Paul George, born in 1990.
I'll be damned. How about that?
Never would have known.
Andre Drummond, born then in 1993.
You know what? Some guys look older.
I think that's like a reversed Cuban birth certificate or something like that.
It's not helping.
No, it's not.
That'll be fun though. I think to what you're saying about excitement, I think today is a good day to remember, not to get all corny. I mean, it was mid-May last year when Tatum went down, and you're like, you're not going to get Celtics basketball for a year and a half. And then you're going to have to do a whole regular season. You thought this was coming next year, so I think the fact that it's here now is pretty fun. Today, I think will be a fun day at TD Garden, and it shouldn't be a problem. The Sixers aren't a pushover by any means, but the Celtics should take care of them. They have such depth and such layers of how they're going to attack them. I don't know if there's a team that can defend the Celtics properly in this playoffs in the East.
Certainly not in the Eastern Conference. So I never thought the Celtics were going to, go into the tank, go into the lottery. I mean, I thought they were going to be a middle-of-the-pack Eastern Conference team this year just because, for two factors. One, I believed in Jaylen Brown. Two, I don't believe in the Eastern Conference. I believe both of those things even more strongly than I did at the beginning of the year, but I didn't think they'd be a legitimate bona fide. They can win the East and contend for an NBA title. I mean, those are the expectations, right? They should win the East and contend for an NBA title.
I think if they lose a hard-fought series to Detroit and we all watch it, we'll be like, all right, they aren't as good as we maybe thought they were. But I don't think that would be an out-and-out failure. I think if they lose to the Knicks again, and obviously if they run into trouble with the Sixers, that's going to be a problem. But I think, like you, I thought they'd be like the Magic were last. That was my standard. Like, you could be last year's Magic without Jason Tatum.
It's not that hard.
You can be a 7 seed. You can be a couple games better than 500. You can make it in the play-in, and then whatever happens, happens. But the fact that you are here, I don't know the odds. Are they the highest in the? Are they have the best odds to get out of the East?
I'll give that a look.
I think the Pistons might be fourth.
Yeah, they should be favored. If they're not favored, I will bet that, because they're better than everybody else. They're better than any team in the Eastern Conference. I feel that strongly. And I mean, I don't know. Listen, are they as talented as they were last year? No. Is Tatum coming off the injury? Yes. Are they at full strength because of that? No. Does that matter in the Eastern Conference? I don't think so. I'm with you, Hurley. It's NBA Finals or bust.
They're pretty heavily favored to come out of the East. This is one book. We're not sponsored, the McCarthy and Hurley Hour.
No, we're not. Yeah.
The book will remain unnamed, but the Celtics are plus 160 to get out of the East. The Cavs, second at plus 300. The Pistons, the number one seed at plus 360. Yep. And then the Knicks at plus 500. And
basically half the odds.
Yeah. Plus 160 to plus 300. That's.
I can do a little bit of math. 160 plus 160, that's 320.
I was letting you do it.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Listen, I'm firing on all cylinders this morning, clearly. So yeah, I think that needs to be our expectation. NBA Finals or bust. What are your biggest questions about the Celtics entering the playoffs?
The Knicks, can they get over? Like, the Knicks thing is real. And we could sit here and we could lay the rosters down and we could be like, Jalen Brunson is really good, but doesn't really get me going. Like Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, we got to worry about him. Like Mitchell Robinson, like all these, you could just individually be like, no, but how many times do you have to see it before you have to admit that it's real? So to me, the Knicks looming in the second round, and at halftime, I think it was a 3-point game last night, and you're like, oh, maybe the Hawks have a little something, and the Knicks just stomped on their throat the whole second half. So to me, getting past the Knicks, like, I think the Knicks, for whatever reason, is going to be a bigger challenge for them than whoever awaits beyond that, whether it's the Pistons or the Cavs or whoever else.
So front court is my main concern entering these playoffs, because against the Knicks or against the Sixers, not the Sixers, the Pistons, are you going to run into trouble in the front court? So that's my on court question for the Celtics. I mean, Cade has been great all year. What do you get from him in the playoffs? Who is the second big? Is it Vucevic? Is it Garza? Those are my, on-court questions. But to me, and, obviously, what do you get from Jason Tatum? Is Jaylen Brown the number one option, this go round? So there are those questions. But I want to see how Joe Mazzulla responds this year. I mean, Mazzulla was one of the primary reasons they gagged against the Knicks last year. And that was a choke. That was a gag. Is he better this year? Is he less stubborn in the moment? He's been, excellent with his rotations all year long. Is he going to go into these playoffs with a preconceived notion of who he's using? He's going to shorten the bench. Is he flexible and not stubborn in the middle of a series when it's slapping him in the face, hey, you need to do something different? The same way that game 1 and game 2 last year against the Knicks was like, hey, Joe, maybe just maybe you should go to the basket a little bit more, maybe back off the threes, and then it was this is what we do it this way, and we're going to be proven right about it. No, you lost the series because you were ignoring the blatant obvious fact right in your face. I want to see Joe Mazzulla adjust this year in the playoffs, because he failed to do so last year.
I think that's sort of the benefit of those 60 games you played without Tatum. Like, that offense, for whatever you want to say, there have even been times when Tatum's been back, right? And there was a game, they blew someone out a couple weeks ago. They all kind of blend together.
Wait, you're suggesting that there was a blowout in the NBA that you can't remember? What is this?
It was a weekend blowout, so it didn't quite stick. But
let me guess, the other team's best 4 players didn't play because it's a Saturday night.
I'm trying to remember which game it was. And, it might have been, it doesn't really matter. They were blowing a team out, and then the lead was kind of shrinking, and it got down to like 13. And even in that, Tatum takes the ball up, crosses the half court, and just chucks up like a 26-footer, back iron. And it's just like, those empty possessions are almost eliminated this year because they They run an offense, and I think that's been the difference. They did not run an offense last year against the Knicks. They brought it up, and they tried to take a three. And if it fell, it was great. If not, they would blow 20-plus point leads at home and lose games. And I just think they're so much harder to defend now because what do you do when Jaylen Brown has the ball? Jason Tatum sets a screen for him. Who are you covering? Because now you have to step out and you have to worry about Jaylen Brown, whether he's going to shoot, whether he's going to drive. Either Neemias Queta is going to pop free and be wide open for an easy two. Like Sam Hauser's going to get left alone. Peyton Pritchard's going to get left alone. There's going to be guys that get open, and they generally hit their shots. Personnel-wise, Vucevic has not been good since being back, so he's on my list. And like Baylor Shireman has been incredible. Does that continue in the playoffs? Because we've seen how many guys in the regular season over the years, great role players, playoffs they barely get off the bench. They're going to need him to be as good as he has been, I think, to go deep. Like they'll get past the Sixers without him, but I think to beat the Knicks, to beat the Pistons, they need Shireman to kind of keep that going. And that, for his credit, like I have no doubt about it, but he still has to prove it.
617-779-0985. Your thoughts on the Celtics. Bruins tonight. How you feeling about this series entering it?
I got a new catchphrase I just put out on Twitter.
Okay.
My numbers are off on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Great name. One of the best names of all time.
Strong name.
I regret not naming one of my three daughters Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen Hurley. I think I really missed the boat on that. But ready? 3 U's, 6 K's, 1 L. So feel free to use that.
Three U's. Hold on.
3 U's.
3 U's. 6 K's. 1 L.
Yeah.
Ah.
See? There's a little Jack Edwards, Tuukka Rask inspiration.
Yeah,
so you can use that if the Bruins win. But I think that's a huge question. I mean, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs. What's more important than goaltending? It is everything.
Is it everything? How many times have the Bruins had a goaltending advantage in a series and lose it?
Are you saying like Tuukka Rask and Jordan Binnington was a mismatch in the Bruins' favor?
Yeah, I would say that was a mismatch in their favor, and they lost that series.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, how many series has Jeff? You can speak to this better than me. I mean, you're a hockey guy. I mean, the Bruins typically have, and I found myself falling into this trap because I do think they're going to win the series. I buy in on the Bruins beating the Sabres because they're a more experienced team. Buffalo hasn't been there since the year 1920.
Yes.
So
the automobile was fresh off the
they were
invention line.
Yeah. Henry Ford, a Model T. But I've said it myself. Oh, they have the goaltending advantage in this series, so give me the Bruins in the series. But how many times would you say that and they actually lose a series? Don't the Bruins typically have the goaltending advantage because they typically spend more money on goalie than most teams? Tuukka Rask, good goalie. Linus Ullmark, Vezina trophy winning goal. Almost always they have the goaltending advantage in these series. When was the last time they won the Stanley Cup doing it this way?
Well, I don't think they're going to win the Cup.
No, I know. I don't think they're going to win the Cup either.
I think you have an advantage here, though. I think their pressure is almost more important, more significant than the goaltending. Like you said, 2011 was their last playoff appearance.
Yeah.
If I'm not 2011.
That's right.
Half of the Buffalo roster was probably in third grade in 2011. Like the pressure in that environment, the place is going to be tense.
Yep.
And to me, like you want to start the series, that first goal. Like, were you watching Pittsburgh in Philadelphia last night?
I was not, no.
What is it? PG Arena, whatever it is in Pittsburgh.
Oh, sure.
All charged up. They're wearing, first of all, they're wearing like Predators jerseys in the playoffs. It should not be allowed. But everyone's got their towels. Everyone's going nuts. No goals in the first, and then Philly scores first. Like, it's such a significant factor, game one on the road, if you can get that first one, especially when the team hasn't hosted a playoff game in 15 years.
So that, I think, is a bigger factor than the goaltending. Jeff?
No, it's the playoff experience as well too. But Buffalo has nobody on their team that has had experience this before. Yeah,
I want to do this. I want to do this exercise during the break. Let's look at the last Bruins. 5, 6, 7, 8 playoff series, and you tell me whether they had the goaltending advantage in those series, and we'll look at the results. Because I don't think it's just as simple as they have the better goalie. Because they do.
It's not.
They do. They have the better goalie. But more often than not, the Bruins have the better goalie. And how far has that gotten them? 617-779-0985. We're off and running. Thoughts on the Bruins? Thoughts on the Celtics? Game one for both. Matt McCarthy, Michael Hurley, Jeff Williams producing today here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.
Matt McCarthy, Michael Hurley. Game 1 for the Celtics, game 1 for the Bruins today. We'll take your calls on both at 617-779-0985. Hurley, I was working hard during the break.
Never seen anything like that.
No, really, very prepared. You said the Bruins are going to win this series, and I'm putting words in your mouth, because they have the better goalie, which is a trap that I've fallen into, too. And I think they're going to win this series because I think they're the more experienced team. I don't believe in Buffalo. I think it's a favorable matchup for them. But it got me thinking. I said, wait a minute. How automatic is the better goalie situation? So going back to COVID, the Bruins have played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Give yourself
playoffs.
a freebie. Go back to 2019 because we just did one already. That helps your case.
I'm just going to keep it post-COVID, but you're right. 2019, who is better, Tuukka Rask or Jordan Binnington?
Brad Marchand with the puck at the top of the circle. Mm-hmm. Nobody in the way. Right into Jordan Binnington's belly button.
Sure.
Right into the chest.
Yep. Brad Marchand leaving the ice.
Well, you know what? He was probably winded. We'll take your calls. 2019 Stanley Cup Final Talk.
Please no.
Yeah, we won't be doing that.
No. Jeff will be blocking those phone calls. Understandably so.
They missed the trip in Game 5. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah, they've played 6 playoff series since COVID. Islanders 2021. Your goalies for the Islanders were, one second, Semyon Varlamov and Ilya Sorokin.
Who I believe was a rookie.
It was a rookie at the time. I believe they swapped out their goalies. I believe so. I think both of them played in that series. Who do you think had the goaltending advantage in that series?
I would say so. That was 21. So that's still Tuukka Rask.
Yeah.
That
Rask,
was not Bubble Rask.
It was Rask and Swayman, wasn't it? At that time.
Swayman did have briefly. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Tuukka Rask was one of the best goalies in the world. So yeah.
Wasn't he hurt by the end of it?
It's hard to keep track. Well, who did they play before that?
They played
in the first, probably Toronto.
The Washington Capitals.
Okay.
Ilya Samsonov. Who had the goaltending advantage in that series?
The Bruins.
That's right.
So they went 1-1 that year.
They went 1-1 that year. 2022, they lost to Carolina in 7 games. Freddie Anderson and Antti Ranta. Who had the goaltending advantage in that series?
And that was Swayman. Swayman made 5 starts, and Ullmark made 2.
Mm-hmm. Who had the goaltending advantage?
Oh, I remember that series. Ullmark started the first 2.
Yeah.
Didn't Lindholm get hurt in Game 1?
He did.
Yeah.
Carolina won the series because they were the better team. The Bruins were better in net, but Carolina won because they were the better team.
A young Swayman in a struggling Ullmark against Antti Ranta?
Yeah.
Probably the Bruins. Even still,
Yeah,
inexperienced.
Freddie Anderson. 2023 against Florida. The Bruins had the Vezina winning goalie in Linus Ullmark. They had the goaltending advantage in that series.
I mean, it was Bobrovsky, so it's not like it was. It's not like it was lopsided.
No, but the Bruins had the better goalies entering that series. By the way, wasn't Lyon playing for?
Yeah, I think
Florida?
Bobrovsky might have been hurt. And
Bobrovsky was not the same guy.
Yeah, he made so many
Alex
big saves,
Lyon,
though.
wasn't it?
I feel like he made the big saves.
No, I mean,
I think
Bobrovsky-
Lyon started the series, yeah.
Lyon started the series, and Bobrovsky, who was a puddle that year, figured it out late, and they made the goaltender switch. The Bruins undeniably had the goaltending advantage going into that series.
Man.
They chased Lyon early on.
Bobrovsky's numbers that season, a .901 save percentage and a .307 goals against.
So I will ask you this question,
Yeah, the Bruins
Michael
had it.
Hurley.
Yeah,
Who
the
had the goaltending advantage in that series?
In theory, but I don't. I mean, with the benefit of retrospect, Linus Ullmark, a bad playoff goalie.
It didn't play out that way.
And that was also, as Jim Montgomery will tell you, goalie Bob's fault.
Sure.
Ask goalie Bob.
Yeah.
Ask goalie Bob about that.
Jim Montgomery, not a good coach.
Well, that was idiotic because they had such a good thing going with the 2 goalie system to just be a 1 goalie team in the playoffs when the guy you're leaning on does not have the mental makeup for it was insane. But
they went to Swayman in Game 7, didn't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They went to Swayman in Game 7 after riding
big deal.
Ullmark. Yeah, not a problem at all. And Ullmark was hurt, we think.
Oh, you know what it was? Remember Ullmark kind of got in like a fight at the end of one of the games in Florida?
Yeah.
Game 5, I want to say.
No, it was Game 6 in Florida. Yeah. Because Ullmark screwed it up at the end of Game 5. said the sun will no. What was it game 5 or game 6 where he said the sun will come up tomorrow?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They lost an OT in game 5.
Pulled a straight Annie after going around the net, and yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, the Bruins had the advantage of that one, but they screwed it up.
Didn't play out that way. And last year, 2024, they definitely had the goaltending advantage against the Maple Leafs. They always do.
Sure.
And then they played Florida in round 2. And Swayman was, this was 2 years ago, not last year. Swayman was really good in those playoffs, but Bobrovsky was better, and Florida obviously was the better team.
Yeah. So it's what, 500? It's not the only thing. It's just a significant factor. And I think, like Jeff was saying, like the playoff experience, I can't imagine, let's say, I don't know, 6 minutes into that, maybe after the first TV timeout, it's scoreless. That place is still going bonkers. Everyone's got their beer sabers. You seen those?
Sure have.
Can't buy them. Can't buy a beer saber.
The get-in price today is $500 in Buffalo.
Game
That's
1, round 1.
Wild.
Yeah, but it's to be expected.
No, I mean, true. They haven't been there in 15 years.
If you've ever, I remember covering TV ratings for Stanley Cup playoffs, and it would always be like the two teams involved, whether it was like New York and LA, and then the third market would always be Buffalo. They're just like, they love playoff hockey, and now
nothing to do.
It's kind of like Michael
Nothing to
Scott.
do there.
I love inside jokes. Someday I'd like to be a part of one. They're like, I love playoff hockey. Someday I'd like to be a part of it myself. So yeah, it's going to be, but if you can get that first goal, you've got a goaltender that you can sort of start to get thinking. I don't love I think there's been a lot of confidence in this city for the Bruins, and I don't necessarily disagree, but it instinctively makes me want to say, like, the Sabres are good, and we're kind of dismissing it.
No, the Sabres factor is real here. I mean, if this were Carolina, if this were Tampa, I'd say the Bruins are going to lose this series in 5 games. It is the Buffalo factor. I mean, they are an unknown. They've, not to say come out of nowhere, but I mean, they haven't been there in forever. This is undeniably, though, the most favorable first-round matchup the Bruins could have had, correct?
This or Montreal, I guess, technically. Like, I don't hate the Montreal matchup the way I do Tampa or Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want anything to do with Tampa or Carolina at this point. No. That's how I'd feel about it. No, I mean, I think the Bruins have a good chance in this series, and Marco Sturm is certainly talking about it like they have a good chance. I want to get to some of his comments, which I found fascinating, in a little bit, but we'll be bouncing back and forth between the Bruins and the Celtics today. Whatever you want at 617-779-0985. Let's go to our guy Tyler in the mail truck. Tyler.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing today?
How you
Hi,
doing?
guys.
What's up?
Good, man. Not complaining. Just delivering packages out here in this crap weather today, but not too bad.
Wait a minute. It's
I know
Sunday.
that. I know that life.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too fun, but hey, it's easy money at the end of the day. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on the point you had brought up earlier between the Celtics and Knicks and the importance of the front court battle. And I definitely wanted to just add to that a little bit as far as like the rotation of Kada, Luka, and Vucevic. I think on top of like being consistent on the offensive end, they absolutely need to keep the Knicks off the offensive boards. That's like one of the main things that killed them last season, especially during those comebacks. I mean, they got brutalized on the offensive boards, whether it was Karl Anthony Towns down there, Josh Hart flying in. I know Karl Anthony Towns is also really, susceptible to getting fouls. So, I mean, on top of that, I think that between the rotation of those three, they could definitely get Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble, but I really want to see them keep the Knicks off the offensive boards. I think that's huge.
You know what I like about that call, Hurley? Doesn't that sum up the NBA playoffs beautifully? Who are they playing today?
The Celtics.
Yeah, no.
They're playing the Sixers.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Have we spent more than 30 seconds on the Philadelphia 76ers today?
I would say about 30, maybe 35.
That's the appropriate amount of time?
That's the benefit of being a top 2 seed in the East. You don't have to stress. You shouldn't have to stress unless you're, the Mavs and the Warriors 20 years ago. We all remember that. It really shouldn't be a competition. It should be a warm-up. And that, I have the Knicks. You asked me my biggest question or concern about this playoff run. It's round 2. New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden.
This round should be 5 games. First round in the NBA should be 5 games. 7 games.
Best of 5.
Best of 5. Not that it ever goes more than 5 games or shouldn't go. I mean, if this goes more than 5 games for the Celtics, that's a problem. But this should be best of 5. Or it should not exist at all.
Unfortunately,
I would abolish the entire first round.
One constant in all sports when it comes to owners and leagues is they never give back money that they're making. So unfortunately, the more games situation will always win out. But you're not wrong. Best of 5 was nice. Because, what's the point? What's
and
the point?
doesn't best of 5 increase the odds of an upset?
I guess, yeah, because theoretically talent wins out over time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Best of 5 would be better.
It's a little, I guess, tough for the 4-5 matchup or the 3-6 matchup.
Who cares about the 4-5 matchup in the NBA? When was the last time you had a good 4-5 match? So, what are the 4-5 matchups this year?
Raptors, Cavs, right?
Ugh.
Cavs with the second best odds to get out of the East.
I mean, cool.
Yeah.
Raptors, Cavs. You're making my point. Abolish the first round. NBA playoffs should be 4 teams in the East, 4 teams in the West.
While we're at it, Matt Dolph was tweeting out this week, and it's something that's bothered me for like however long this current playoff format in the NHL.
The NHL? Yeah.
It's been like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Horrible. It's one of the dumbest things. So right now, the Bruins would be playing the Canadiens as a 4-5 matchup.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Give me that.
I agree. It'd be Flyers, Hurricanes, 1-8.
No, the play out of your division thing is just...
And then you get bracketed into based on your wild card finish. It's foolish. Like, fix it. You can't explain it to a non-hockey fan. The three teams at the top of the division, the 2 wild cards,
Yep.
the rankings of the wild cards, whether you go in the Atlantic or the Metro, it's insane.
Leave it to hockey. by
Only
the way.
Gary Bettman can come up with that.
And also, too, the NBA schedule came out first. And then hockey says, you know what? We're going to put the Bruins and the Celtics on 4 of the same days.
I just like the NHL. They're like, the game 1 schedule is here, and it had 3 TBDs on it. It's the biggest.
Thanks.
Just figure that out, then let us know next time. You had the sports books just guessing.
They really do act like they're the only team in town, the only game in town.
It's
I mean, I get it. They are the only game in town in a lot of places. Canada. I mean, I don't think they're contending for too many eyeballs in Winnipeg. So
I'll give you Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah.
Once you get stateside, I don't know. Based on the Twins' attendance last week, it feels like Minnesota, the Wild, have all of their attention for right now. So I'll give you that one.
Would you want to go to a game in Minneapolis in April?
It looked nice out. I think the weather was nice.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people there, though, so it
No.
should theoretically be easy to track down audio of any fans that say anything.
Oh, now what are you
inappropriate.
saying? What are you saying?
I'm just
about
saying it shouldn't be that difficult to uncover
what the fan actually said.
Cameras, microphones all over the place.
Sure.
Especially right in that little dugout well, just past the
Sure.
dugout.
You're
right around where such a comment might have been made,
You're
theoretically.
a Jaron Duran truther.
I'm just saying it would have come out. It should have come out.
You know what I care about with Jaron Duran? The fact that he's batting like $170. That's what I really care about with him. The fact that he's right now undeniably the 5th best option of their 5 outfielders.
But defensively, get this, the 3rd best.
It's a bad sign. That's a bad sign right there. 617-779-0985. I see your Celtics calls. I see your Bruins calls. We'll get to all of them. Matt McCarthy and Michael Hurley here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sport.
like a low crooning.
Can you get like a karaoke version
No,
of
we're
that,
not gonna do that.
Jeff?
I was 17.
I bought my very first beer.
Pretty crazy. This will offend people of a certain age. Pretty crazy that Frank Sinatra is like one of the most famous singers of all time. You know, didn't exactly sing that much.
No.
He had one note.
No, it was not a very good singer.
And I love Frank Sinatra.
I mean, I
Don't
do
get me
too.
wrong. I grew
But
up.
that's the machine.
He was
That's the mob. That's what that was.
He was going to be successful.
Yeah. Johnny Fontaine.
Now you're out of my depths. So
Yeah. His name was Brian McGee, Jeff.
I bought it with a fake ID.
When I was
I stayed up listening to Queen.
It's the greatest TV show of all time, man. It's not even a close second. Like seasons 3 through 10 or 11 of The Simpsons. That's
you know what's funny? I flipped on the other night. I was nothing on it. The Simpsons were on. I don't know whatever channel they're on, and it was from the year 2000. I want to say. I said,
Okay.
"Oh, it's New Simpsons." That's 26 years ago.
yeah. I mean, year 2000 Simpsons is still pretty good.
I'm sure. You know, I know, but it's like that's modern era. That's new.
Yeah. Jim Murray once asked this question. I don't know the answer to it. What's more disappointing? When you flip on the TV and you find a South Park episode from before the year 2000 or a Simpson episode from after the year 2000?
I love those early South Park episodes, so I don't care. But anything past like season 11 with The Simpsons is trash.
Comparatively speaking. I think if you went back and watched like seasons 11, 12, 13, 14, you'd say, this is pretty good. It's not, this is like Pedro Martinez 2004. It's not Pedro Martinez 1999. Because in 1994, The Simpsons were throwing 99 on the black. Marge versus the monorail, Homer at the bat. I mean, you don't get better than that.
Last exit to Springfield.
Homer's enemy.
The movie, though, I remember the
Blown
movie.
up in a silo explosion.
I feel like the movie was all right.
For what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Are they making another movie?
I believe so, yes.
Is it like the end of it? The
I would
Simpsons
hope
has
so. I
to
mean, you
end.
got to kind of almost put it out of its misery at this point. I mean, but if they're still making money, I mean, what can you do?
I guess. 37 seasons.
It's a long time, man.
It's basically like this human body you see here. That's how old The Simpsons is. I'm a little older.
Older than me. 617-779-0985. Mark in Medford. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
Anytime.
So not only do I think the Bruins can win this series, but they're going to win this series in 6 games. But what I don't like, and if you ask the players, management of teams, owners, coaches, GMs, whatever, that this playoff format sucks. They all hate it, but yet Gary Bettman won't budge on it because it's a shame that 2 teams that I watched yesterday, even though it was a blowout, that Minnesota and Dallas, one of those teams is going home this round. That sucks.
It's
I agree.
insane. It's insane. You have the second and third teams in the West in the first round. And it's one of those things eventually you're going to have to play the meat, but that's not how playoffs work. That's not what is the point of the regular season?
I would say the NHL playoffs in the first 2 rounds are excellent, but the conference finals, and this is just anecdotal, I'd have to go back and look at it. You oftentimes have some duds in the conference finals because you get a Carolina situation in 2019 where you're like, really? Come on. I mean, this team's not ready to be here. They, had a weaker path to that spot. Yeah, no, but the first round in the Stanley Cup playoffs are awesome because they have, frankly, better matchups than they probably should have in the first round. It's the exact opposite of the NBA where you look at most of those matchups and you say, oh, God, really? You got to watch this? And the answer is, I don't.
Is there a comparison? Is there another situation where there's 8 teams that make make the playoffs in a conference and the second and third team are playing each other in the first round?
No.
Can't happen in basketball.
I mean,
Football?
it
No.
used to happen in baseball in the 4-team format in each league. The second
Sure,
and the third
the wild
team.
card could have 103 wins and
Yeah.
be out, but
But that's But that's fine because, I mean, baseball, that's a completely different playoff format whatsoever. I mean, you get good matchups in the first round no matter what because
It's 162 games.
it's 162 games. Now, it's a little different with the 6 teams, but I mean, when it was the 5 and the 4-team playoff formats, like this, you generally don't. You might have one kind of dud playoff team, but every team other than that generally deserves to be there.
Like a year where 4 teams in the AL Central have 70 wins or fewer, and the winner just stinks.
Right.
I miss the 4-team format.
4-team format was great. The 6-team format is not.
Watered down. Because now you have the Red Sox walking around and be like, we made the playoffs last year. It's like, the hell you did. You didn't make the playoffs. You played a little series against the Yankees and lost.
Yeah, and I don't like the 3-game format. I love the 1-game format in baseball. I mean, that was awesome.
So unfair. Name another sport where your season comes down to 1/162nd of your season.
So
it's crazy.
I hear you on that, but it was great drama.
It was. I had to watch it. But it was so much better when it was not manufactured. You know? When it happened, naturally, game 163.
Game 163.
Some of the best drama you could ever cook up.
And I hate that you don't have that in this current format now. You've got tiebreakers. You don't have game 163. That does stink.
Yeah. So playoff formats going around, I think the NFL needs the second buyback. The one team getting a bye is crazy.
Not good. So, and by the way, what's going to happen when the NFL goes to 18 games and probably, I would assume, 8 playoff teams in each? Are the buys gone at that point?
I think you go to 2 buys. Well, then you have, you got to
buys are gone. The NFL had the perfect playoff format. 6 teams, each conference.
2 buys.
2 buys.
But then you didn't have the super duper freakadeaky wild card weekend. They need that.
They need the money.
Like I said, they never shrink or condense. Everything just keeps growing. You go back to the old days, there wasn't even baseball playoffs. You're in the World Series, brother.
You win the pennant, baby. You get the best record in the league, boom. You're off to the World Series.
Then, I don't know, when they started the East versus West, that's cool. Imagine the intensity there. And then that ended in what? The early 90s.
95 after the strike. They went to 4 divisions.
I feel like
This brings me to something. I hate divisions in sports at this point. There's no reason for it. I get it. Back in the day, travel's not what it once was.
Air travel's come a long way since the 70s.
Sure has. You don't need it. Just best record, 1 through whatever, seed it by record. There's no reason to do anything else.
Or like, I'm with you, but really lean into it the way baseball used to do, where you play the Yankees, Orioles, Blue Jays, and Rays 3,000 times in a season. So, like, your division really matters. Now it's like this in-between mode.
Yeah, you get 12 games, not 19 kind of thing, 13 games, whatever it is.
It's a mess. You start the season in Cincinnati.
Get rid of divisions. This is one thing the NBA does really well. Do you know what division the Celtics play in?
They're in the Atlantic Division.
Who else is in the Atlantic Division? Name them.
I'm going to go with the Knicks. They're in that division.
I'm going to bring
the
this
Raptors.
up. I have no idea.
I'm going to go Raptors. Let's see. Who else is in that division? I don't think the Hornets. I think you're somewhere. That's like the Southeast or something. Let's see.
How many divisions are there?
Are the Nets in that division?
Okay, I pulled it up. I have the list.
All right.
You got to do that again.
Celtics, Knicks, Nets, Raptors.
Okay.
How am I doing so far?
You have 4 of the 5.
Cleveland's not in it.
No.
Do I have to go south?
Can I give you a hint?
Yeah, please.
We've spent about
the Philadelphia 76ers.
We've spent very little time.
Divisions in basketball I've never heard anyone talk about in my entire life.
Name the 3 divisions in the NBA's Eastern Conference. Go.
All right. Is there a Southeast?
There is.
Yeah. Miami, Charlotte. I'll stop there. And then whatever.
Name 2 of them.
Like whatever Cleveland's in. I don't know what that is. There's no Midwest Conference.
It is the Central Division in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. That's cool.
Name the Western Conference divisions. You got 3 of them.
You got a Southwest.
Yes.
Pacific.
Ooh.
And
Hurley, you're doing way better than Mr. Sports over here.
Yeah, big sports guy.
Yeah, huge.
I'm not going to get the third one.
One would think the qualifications to be on this station, but you'd be surprised.
Well, divisions in basketball, if you know that, you're kind of sick and twisted. I don't know the third one. What do we got?
That would be the Northwest Division.
Okay. So you have a Northwest and a Pacific.
Yes. The Northwest Division includes the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now,
Naturally.
I'm not Mr. Maps,
You're not Rand McNally over here.
but I do believe Oklahoma City is smack dab in the middle of the country.
Pretty much, yeah. And you're positing that we need to do away with divisions or whatever. I believe college football is 5 steps ahead of you in this regard. You've got Stanford in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Mm-hmm.
You've got UCLA in the Big Ten.
We do wonder why nobody in America knows geography. That's because we've got, Stanford in the Atlantic Coast.
Who's in the Big East these days?
It's the Small East, I believe.
You've got Butler, not really. East.
No.
Eastern time zone, at least. You've got Creighton in Nebraska.
Sure, that is very much Central Time Zone.
Marquette, which they've been in it, so that's not necessarily new. That used to be sort of crazy. You had some Midwestern teams in the Big East. Now it's a free-for-all.
Welcome to sports. Good job, Hurley. Well
That's
done.
pretty good. 4 out of 6. That's passing.
I mean, that's better than I would have done.
Not getting the Sixers is pretty funny, though.
So the NBA does not care about divisions, rightfully so. And hockey very much cares about divisions. You can't possibly care more about divisions. You got to play your way out of your division.
Well, and that's what threw it off this year with the playoffs, because I was in here with you that Saturday, remember? And I was doing all the playoff scenarios. And what I did not take into account, I had to mea culpa.
How dare you?
I had to mea culpa the next day. I didn't realize that I thought Columbus would be eliminated that day. But the Metro was so bad that the third spot in the Metro was up for grabs up until the end of the season. So when the Bruins went to Columbus, those Blue Jackets were playing their hearts out. Didn't help them.
No, it did not.
It's kind of sad.
Not much heart.
But yeah, I mean, to make the Atlantic bracket, you needed 106 points. To make the Metro bracket, 98 points are the second and third seed. So it's completely twisted and I would say unfair.
Well, here's the format you have, and the Bruins now need to play their way. Well, hold on, wait a minute. Didn't they finish 4th in the Atlantic?
Correct.
Okay.
But they would have finished 2nd in the Metro.
This is a popsicle headache.
Well, that's the NHL for you.
There's the format. Bruins Sabres tonight. 617-779-0985. Marco Sturm's comments on the Bruins being bigger, more physical, and stronger than Buffalo. I want to get to those. Next, Matt McCarthy, Michael Hurley, here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
It is a big day in Boston sports with the Celtics and Bruins both kicking off their playoff runs. The Celtics will get things started as they host the Philadelphia 76ers at TD Garden at 1 p.m. Pre-game coverage beginning right here on the Sports Hub at 12:30 p.m. If you're looking at a potential second-round opponent, the Knicks pulled away from the Hawks last night for a Game 1 win at MSG. Later tonight, the Bruins will open up their first-round series in Buffalo. Puck drop at 7:30 with pre-game coverage starting on the Sports Hub at 7 p.m. The Red Sox are also supposed to be in action today. They moved their start time from 1:35 to 4:35 because of the rain and maybe the Celtics. We'll see if and when that weather clears up for baseball this afternoon. In big NFL draft week news, as the Bengals traded the 10th overall pick in this week's draft for defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the Nines the day after the Red Sox win and get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the Nines. I'm Michael Hurley. Next headlines in an hour.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports. In this town, sports happens 24/7. We're Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Buffalo obviously gets the last change the first two games. Is that a huge deal, or is that something that we kind of overblow as reporters?
We'll see. We'll see. In the past, Lindy was not really a big matchup guy. He did his thing, so we'll see where it goes. Maybe he does it different in the playoffs, but we don't really care. We don't really care. We know how I have to play. We're going to be ready to go. We're excited. We are bigger, stronger. We are more physical. We just have to be smart, but we're going to go after them. And whoever comes in first line, second, I don't really care. We try to play our game and not their game.
The question was about
Last change.
where did Marco Sturm take it?
We're bigger and stronger.
How would you feel if I came up to you and you asked me something that had nothing to do with that and said, "Hey, Mike, I'm bigger, stronger, more physical than you"? How would that make you feel?
If you said it as confidently as Marco Sturm said it, I'd be like, all right, fair enough.
I'm going to try this. I am bigger, stronger, and more physical than you.
I'm cowering right now. Now, I'm also not Tage Thompson, so
How big is he?
What you will. He's big.
He's a big boy.
He's big.
Fascinating comments from Marco Sturm. I love him. I think it's great. Now, a lot of people have made that out to be, well, congratulations, you just woke up Buffalo. No. He's trying to lure Buffalo into playing a style of play that better suits the Bruins than it does the Sabres. Buffalo is a smaller, faster, more talented, more skilled team than, I would argue, than Boston. It's the reason they're better than Boston. So by essentially calling them out, that not only does that challenge the Bruins, which I think has been effective this year. You go back to Sturm on Behind the B, I think it was after the Anaheim game earlier on this year, just laying into them in the locker room. I think that really woke them up. I think this Bruins team has responded to Sturm when he's challenged them this year. That is a challenge ahead of the playoffs to be big, tough, strong, physical, all of those things. But it's also bait. It's bait for Buffalo because your response as a hockey player would be, wait, I'm sorry, you're bigger, stronger, more physical. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove that to you. They're trying to get Buffalo to play a style of play that better suits the Bruins. I agree with Sturm's comments. They are bigger, stronger, tougher, more physical, all of those things. That doesn't mean that they're the better team. Buffalo's the better team. But if you play that type of game, that's better suited for Boston. I think this is chestnut checkers from Marco Sturm. I loved those comments the other day.
And I respect Ty Anderson's viewpoint on these things. And I heard him yesterday morning. What day is today? Sunday? Yeah, yesterday morning. Talking about the power play being a big factor. And I think that is, if you can get a few power plays, again, on the road, like these two games, you want to split them, right? Like it's going to be a difficult play. As much as we say the pressure's on Buffalo and it's going to be all this tension, it's going to be a difficult place to play as an opponent. But I think one of the biggest ways you can negate that is you get the man advantage. You get Pasternak on the circle. Like we haven't talked much about the Bruins power play this year. They're 9th in the league. Like they're good
that
power play.
high?
Yeah.
They're that good?
Yeah. It's pretty significant.
Jeff, are the Bruins a top 10 power play in the NHL? I mean, no matter what the statistics say, I mean, what do you think of that?
No,
I don't think
they
so
are at
either.
all.
That's my gut reaction to that.
Unfortunately, though, you didn't get to see Hagens on the second unit because they didn't get any power plays.
So it sounds like Hagens is going to play. Sturm confirmed it, but didn't confirm it. You excited for this? We spent how much time last weekend, Saturday, talking about why aren't they playing James Hagens? Here they are. He's probably going to play in Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he'd played more. I wish he had a little bit more experience, but he looked the part. He didn't look out of place, and that can happen with a young kid coming in at that point of a season around grown men. They can get a little intimidated. They can make mistakes. He played good hockey, so not a huge concern, but we'll see I think the power play is fun. I think that if he can reinvigorate the second unit, there's something there.
I agree. Power plays are fun in hockey. You get one team has 5, one team has 4.
We're doing
wild concept.
We've been doing bad sports rules and stuff. That's a great one. You're down a man.
Big fan.
Good luck, pal.
The Canadians had that figured out a while ago.
Yeah, genius.
Wow.
Need more of it.
Grown men. Hockey does have a grown man fetish, though, don't they? When you really break it down, like, what's the comment, before this series? Well, I mean, we're going to get Hagens out there, with, grown men. He's a kid. He's a child. Now we're talking about who's big and strong and tough. It is kind of the hockey mentality.
Yeah. And it's antiquated, too, because there were times when someone like James Hagens couldn't come, like he would get his head bashed in 20 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. Those days are over. You can come in as a young, small, skilled, fast player and thrive.
I was talking about this with Kevin Majori the other day. Buffalo's probably a softer landing spot for Hagens than Tampa or Carolina, and maybe the Bruins. If this were Tampa or Carolina in the first round, this might not be a Hagens series. And I do, you and I were talking last weekend, like, is he even going to play in the playoffs at all? Because they really were obviously in no rush to get him out there. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. They had no interest in getting him out there as fast as they possibly could. That may have been matchup dependent. If this were Tampa, if this were Carolina, would Hagens be out there? I think that's a fair question. But against Buffalo, a team that, well, maybe now is going to try to play a bigger, tougher, more physical brand of hockey, but I don't think they're built to play that way. I think the Bruins probably, rightfully so, feel more comfortable putting Hagens out there against Buffalo.
That's fair. Thompson, by the way, 6'6", you asked how big he was. 6'6", 220.
It's a big boy.
He's big. We're going to grant you that one.
What does that make him on skates?
6'7",
6'9"? No, skates give you more than that, don't they? It's the whole thing about Chara.
1.5 inches, maybe?
I think it's like 3 inches.
Yeah? I don't know. I'm not good at...
How tall is Zdeno Chara?
He's 6'9".
On skates?
On skates.
Yes. On skates. 7 feet.
All right.
Approximately 7 feet.
Is that the Google AI, though? That is wrong 98% of the time.
I mean, it is the Google AI. So it says height on skates, 7 feet. Height off skates, 6'9". So that's correct.
Fair enough. Sort of like the opposite of Kevin Garnett. 7 feet in sneakers, but he doesn't want you to know that. He doesn't want the stigma of being 7 feet.
Chara running the marathon this year?
Probably.
He's run it in the past.
He's a healthy man.
It's an insane act.
He is one of the healthiest people, I think, in the world. There was that shift he had, either his last year in Boston or it was late. He was 43, maybe. And he had been on the ice for 2.5 minutes and fought at the end of it. And it was a brawl. It was a long fight. And it was like, at the time, everyone was going nuts. Rightfully so for Tom Brady playing quarterback at 43 at a high level. And it's like, dude standing there and throwing the ball. It's impressive, don't get me wrong. But what this man just did against grown men who are 20 years younger than him was that guy's unbelievable.
It is incredible. Our very own Tim McCone running the marathon tomorrow.
Good luck to him.
That I know for sure. I assume
Chara will be running tomorrow.
That's awesome. How many times has he run it now at this point?
I'm looking because he had to step out of last year's.
He ran in 2023
third time
and
didn't he
24.
Didn't he do it like the first time in like 3 hours 30 minutes or something like that?
Google AI says 3 hours 38 minutes in 2023,
I mean,
and
that's
he improved.
ridiculous.
He improved by almost 8 minutes in 2024. So you know he's gunning for like a 3:20 finish tomorrow. Great running weather, right?
Should be outstanding running weather.
40 crisp.
I don't know if it's great broadcasting weather from the starting line in Hopkinton. I'm just saying that.
Are you going to be there?
I am going to be there. Rochi and I tomorrow morning, 6 to 10, in for the guys.
Bring layers.
Bundle up.
Yeah.
Think we have a heater at that thing?
No.
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 Have you been to the starting line?
Never been. I don't. We talked about places we don't go in Massachusetts. I don't go south of the city. I don't really go west either, unless something's happening.
You consider Hopkinton to be like Central Mass, don't you?
It might as well be Ohio.
Yeah, Western Mass.
Yeah. If I have to go through Framingham to get somewhere, I don't know where I am. I have to take an airplane.
It's a wonderful world out there. Great things in Central Mass.
Too much traffic, too many cars. There's not much to see. I've seen plenty.
Worcester, Seven Hills, baby.
Been there, seen it.
Good restaurants.
A lot of good restaurants between my house and Worcester. I don't need to make a trip.
Woo Sox?
I'd like to see the Woo Sox. I haven't been out there yet. Though
you haven't?
Though in my heart of hearts, I'm still such a Paw Sox guy that it hurts.
You'll forget about it when you walk into Polar Park. You'll be like, yes, F Pawtucket.
Give me back that dump McCoy.
No, you won't. You won't say that the second you walk into Polar Park.
If I walk into Polar, I mean that's you're asking a lot for me.
I mean,
I might need a chauffeur.
Can you can you fly direct from Hanscom straight out to Worcester?
Probably. Nice 3-minute flight.
And make that happen.
We do have the airports. We do have the technology.
Not a good time to fly.
What do you mean?
It's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, Hurley. Gas is a little up.
$50 to fill up the CRV yesterday.
It's
crazy. Some of us are trying to plan trips to see Metallica in Las Vegas, and the flights, they're not friendly.
Well, you could just go see him at Mohegan, for $3,000.
They're playing Mohegan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They threw that in there.
Ticket prices are insane.
God, that makes the Springsteen tickets look cheap. Trust me, those are not.
That's kind of weird because they just did that no repeat weekend tour. I went, it was great, but tickets were reasonable.
Yeah, I was at both of those shows too.
Yeah.
I thought I saw you there too.
Oh, really? I was down on the field. It was
I was on the floor.
First time in my life. I've been to a million shows, been in like plenty of pits. I'm not like a hardcore elbows flying guy. The first pit I've ever been a little afraid of was Pantera. The BMI in that pit was off the charts. I'm like, I can't go in. Like, I can't be anywhere near
Those are grown men out there.
They were grown men in that pit just flailing. I'm like, one guy had his face painted. I'm like, these are scary people.
The funniest moment was when I was at, I think it was night one of Metallica, this big, just thick boy, but he was like probably in his 50s. He had like a collared shirt on and everything. He just looks at me and goes, "Where's the pit, man?" I go, "Right back there, brother. Go have fun."
But I was in the Metallica pit. It was fine. It was normal. Just that Pantera one was like, oof. These people are professionals.
Yeah, Pantera is a whole different world.
Not a pit guy. Not if we're
No, I'm retired.
Throwing bows or anything like that. I'm there for the music.
You're there for the art.
Yeah, no, I like crossing my arms and just kind of nodding along. Yep. Good song. Band sounds tight.
One of my greatest, not really regrets, but I've always felt like if you weigh more than 150 pounds, you shouldn't crowd surf. So I've abstained my whole life. It looks fun. I wish I could have gotten up there, but it's so rude as a 180 plus guy to be popping around on people's heads. I missed out.
And take a pass. I really awaken 180. You can make that happen.
Imagine the commercial. At 43 years old, I finally crowd surfed. I ended up breaking my spine, but what a rush.
617-779-0985. That's Michael Hurley. It's Matt McCarthy. Jeff Williams is here. We're hanging out until 12:30 when we hand things off to Grandy and Max.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 Us.
Matt McCarthy, Michael Hurley, Jeff Williams producing. We're on until 12:30 when we hand things off to Grandy and Max. The Celtics and the Sixers coming your way, game one. Bruins and Sabres tonight here on the Sports Hub. That'll be a 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 puck drop. 7:30 on a Sunday night. NHL.
Not bad, actually. Those of us that have to put kids to bed and whatnot. Could be worse. Like 5. I think the first game today is at 5:30. That's tough.
It's a weird time. It's 7:32. That's, I don't know. That's just me, though, because I need to be in Hopkinton in the morning.
Sorry, 5:45, Montreal and Tampa Bay today.
That is so NHL. But we'll continue to get to your thoughts on the Celtics and the Bruins, but we have not touched on the Patriots ahead of draft week. I know you have a take you want to get to, Hurley, on draft night Thursday night and what we might be talking about Thursday night.
Yeah, I just think we're at the point, right? The reporting's coming out the other day, the ESPN story on Vrabel and the details. Basically, neither side could prove to the New York Post that their story was true. Rossini couldn't prove to The Athletic that her cover story was true. So, none of us really believed it, but we were going to suspend disbelief for a certain amount of time. Now you got to address it. Now you got to come out and be a big boy. And I have a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel. I think he is probably one of the most forthright people in the world. So hiding and being quiet and not saying anything is not of his nature. I think he's got to come out before Thursday and address this and have that news cycle be what it is. Because if you wait until Thursday night, the Patriots are going to draft someone. It's going to be the best day in that kid's life. It's going to be the culmination of 20 years of hard work to be a first-round NFL draft pick. And his new head coach is going to come to the podium and everyone's going to be like, dude, you going to talk about this controversy that you created on your own? It would be exceptionally distasteful for the head coach to use that as sort of a cover or a shield. And I just think he owes it to that player. That player's going to join this team. And whatever, I mean, the sports media industry is there. The back page on the Herald is going to be about the head coach and his controversy. It's not going to be about you. And I just think you owe it to the organization. You owe it to your new player who's going to be around you for a few years. You owe it to take your medicine, be a big boy, step in front of the media Tuesday, get it over with. And then Thursday when you come, it's all about the draft and the player and the team.
I hear what you're saying on that. But the draft is an unbelievable shield. And I get why he's going to use it because, let's be honest, Mike, you think anybody's going to ask him about it on Thursday?
Yeah.
You think there's a chance that because it's a draft press conference, people use that as an opportunity to not ask the question of Vrabel?
They'll ask. I'm saying he should get it over with before then. Because then the main story coming off of round one is Vrabel and what he said or didn't say and whatever he evaded, whatever he addressed. That's the bigger story. What are you going to talk about Friday morning on the radio? The draft pick, which is this is who they drafted, or Vrabel talking about getting exposed in the New York Post and talking about it?
See, I just think you're working under the assumption that somebody's going to ask the question, and I'm not 100% convinced it's going to happen, which I know sounds crazy, but people have relationships with the head coach. Everybody likes Mike Vrabel. I mean, that's my sense. Are they going to get up there on Thursday and ask the question, or does it make it easier for a beat reporter to hide behind, hey, listen, I've got a job to do about the team. I got to ask a question about the draft pick, instead of asking a question about something not football related?
I think there are some, certainly, not everybody's going to ask, but there'll be a handful of people willing and able to ask about what has been the biggest story in the NFL for the past 2 weeks.
I mean, nobody asked Elliot Wolf about it.
There was a little bit. But I don't think Elliot Wolf should have to speak on Mike Vrabel's behalf.
No, I would agree with that.
And I think probably that permeated. I think Phil Perry asked him about, how's Vrabel? What's Vrabel up? And it was business as usual. And I was that's really all Elliot Wolf can say. Elliot Wolf isn't Mike Vrabel's boss.
No, actually, Mike Vrabel's kind of Elliot Wolf's boss. Yeah, kind of.
To borrow a term from Gerard Mayo, they're in different silos. The silos are back. But yeah, I don't think it would have been sort of out of place to pepper Elliot Wolf with Mike Vrabel questions.
You are right though when you say that if Vrabel should get up there on Tuesday and take his medicine on Tuesday, so that the conversation can move forward. Because no matter what happens, he gets asked, he doesn't get asked, He answers something, he doesn't answer something, he gives you something, really juicy at the podium, he gives you nothing at the podium. The story Friday morning is Mike Vrabel spoke. Not the story Friday morning is they drafted a third tackle.
And it's just, again, you're right, it's a great cover, but it shouldn't be. Like, as a leader of that locker room in that organization, you need to be more forthcoming about it. And admittedly, it would be so strange to be like a media announcement. Mike Vrabel has called a press conference at 2 p.m. on Tuesday to talk about the New York Post story. You say Mike Vrabel's going to talk about the draft Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday morning, he puts out a statement where he carefully says what he needs to say.
And then he references the statement. At the
he won't do it like Bill Belichick, because he won't say, well, we put out a statement, but he's like, yeah, as you saw in my statement, and he'll say a little bit.
Yep.
And that'll be that. Like, you do have to address it. You can't just sort of be like, we all understood you needed behind closed doors to take care of what you need to take care of. But at this point, like, now this is football. It's a draft. Mm-hmm. Now it's your job. Now you have to tackle this thing, even if it's weird, strange, and uncomfortable. You have to do it at a time where it doesn't take away from your players, because that is your specialty. That is your power as a head coach. You connect with your players so well. You lead them so well. They believe in you. You got to kind of wear this one.
What would you say to those who say, well, no, he doesn't have to answer about this because it has nothing to do with football. It has nothing to do with his job?
I think it does. And
I do too.
I think it does. And it's again, not the end of the world. He can talk to the players. I think they'll buy it. Whatever he says to them behind closed doors, he just, I think, has to make some sort of public acknowledgement of what went on. So as it's really at this point of the year, like, there's no games to coach, there's no practices to coach. At this time of the year, like, it's the draft, and that should be the number one story for a team coming off a Super Bowl loss, coming off a Super Bowl appearance. It's about that player. It's about what you do, and to take away from that, I think, is just a misrepresentation of what the head coach should be doing this week.
So I'm not 100% convinced that every player is going to be totally on board with Mike Vrabel and, hey, this doesn't matter, this doesn't have to do with football. That's a national reporter. So what information about certain players has gotten to a national reporter if what kind of we all believe to be true at this point, that there's some form of validity to whatever you saw in the New York Post? I mean, that's kind of my gut reaction at this point. I mean, based on the ESPN story the other day, I mean, something was probably going on. Do I, in the end, care that there's an extramarital situation going on? Some people might be having affairs. In the end, that's salacious, it's tabloidy, it's juicy, but that doesn't have an effect on a football team until the person on the other side is a reporter. Because then all of a sudden, if I'm a player, I'm saying, all right, what does she know about me? What may have been said about me?
Well, I look at Max Crosby. Remember the Rossini report? I think she might have said it on the Sports Hub. Mm-hmm. Max Crosby really wants to play for Mike Vrabel. I bet Max Crosby was like, what?
What?
Excuse me? I didn't talk to her.
How'd you find that out? Now we know. Put it this, we all remember what happened with John Farrell, right?
The fisherman? John Farrell, the fisherman?
Yes, lobsterman. I did see him up in Gloucester a few years ago getting off of his boat.
That's crazy.
I was like,
that's crazy.
Turned to the person next to me and said, that guy used to manage
the
Boston Red Sox.
Either a documentary or a major motion picture on that story. Crazy.
One of the things I do know about that situation is there was a very influential member of the Red Sox clubhouse for a long period of time who had a real problem with that. Real problem with that situation, the way everything went down, because of the fact that she was a reporter. And it's like, what does she know about me and what does she know about the guys in the clubhouse around me? Because she's sleeping with the manager. I will describe this person as a well-respected member of the Red Sox organization for many years. A player who had a real problem with the way that all went down. So that's the situation that could potentially exist. It's one thing if you're having an affair with not to say a regular person. It is what it is. That's between you and your wife and your family, and we don't want things to be messy, but I can ignore that. I think players can ignore that. But when you bring a journalist into it, somebody who can tweet out information that may present you in a good light, a bad light, information is currency, information is power in sports. So the fact that she's involved with it, no, it's a football problem. It's a football issue. That has to do with his job. There's a guy who has all kinds of access to a million different types of information, sensitive information that can make guys money, cost guys money, you name it. So the whole, he doesn't need to answer for the. Yes, he does. Yeah, he does.
And I think he can. He's someone that if he were in the room and say, guys, I messed up, people are going to buy it. Like, people are going to believe it. Like, he has that cachet built up. He's going to have to use some of it.
So it's a good point. I mean, you don't want it to take away from the kid who gets drafted. In the end, though.
Well, just think about not just that. What do Robert and Jonathan love more than anything? Walking out on Friday with the jersey, out onto the field at Gillette, welcome the new first-round draft pick.
They take questions, don't they?
Usually.
They might not take questions on Friday.
Yeah.
Because you have to ask the owners, hey, what do you make of the suggestions, the reporting that your head coach and a significant, influential NFL reporter are having a relationship?
Yeah, I don't know. They probably can't take questions if they don't want to talk about it. I don't think they would release a statement Tuesday. I'm just picking Tuesday to get it over with, but I just think Vrabel needs to. I think he owes it.
He owes it to the organization. He has to get out in front of it.
You get time. Like, we were all accepting, like, this is... You never expect to end up in page 6 of the New York Post.
Never good if you do.
You never plan for that. So there was a shock. There was a crisis management, as we learned. Like, I think, are human beings and can understand, all right, take some time. But before you get back to work in a public setting, it has to be addressed, and it shouldn't be at 11:15 p.m. on Thursday night.
617-779-0985. How about Justin in Lynn? Hey, Justin.
Hey, Matt, it's Justin. I have some predictions for the games, for the series, for the two series. The Bruins in 5 and the Celtics in 5. I believe that the Bruins can get past this round against the Sabres, and I believe the Celtics can get past the Sixers in 5 games as well. I just wanted your thoughts.
Thanks, Justin. Always good to hear from you. I'd be shocked if the Bruins won this series in 5, and I'll be shocked if the Celtics win this series in anything more than 5. That'll be a problem if they win this series in anything more than 5.
I have the Bruins as like a 50-50 in this series.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
If they win, it's going to be in 6 or 7 games. It's a long series. I think it's a long series either way.
I like the matchup. Like you said, if it was Tampa or Carolina, I probably wouldn't entertain it. But even with that, it's maybe 60-40 at best. I just think they're not necessarily built to win playoff series yet.
They're the underdog. They should be the underdog. That does not mean that they can't win the series. I mean, you know how it is in hockey, Hurley. I mean, what's to separate the best team in the league from the 10th best team in the league? There really isn't that much. So what's to separate? I'm sorry, what's the actual seeding in the Eastern Conference?
Don't worry about it.
Cockamamie NHL playoff format?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because this team, having 100 points is something that, if talk about preseason expectations, I looked at this roster. If I had told you they're going to have 100 points, you would have smacked me in the face. So this team is sort of altering.
I still might smack you in the face.
That's fair. You are bigger, stronger, and more physical.
It's true. I will get in your face. I will tell you that to your face. I am bigger, stronger, and more physical than you. How are you going to respond?
Now, if you're an NHL veteran of like 1,000 games from Germany, it's even more imposing. So fair enough. But no, they've changed my perspective on what a very good NHL team is. Because 100 points is a very good NHL team. So I give them a good chance, but I don't know. 5 games.
Do you think they're very good?
The evidence tells me yes. The evidence tells me I must.
Okay, the number tells you yes.
What
do your eyes tell you?
I don't think they're built for a long run, but I think they can win the series, and I think that's impressive given the state of their roster.
I would agree. That's the perfect way to describe it. That's who they are. They are capable of winning this series. They got what I would consider to be favorable matchup for who they are in the first round. This is a team that was going to be a bubble playoff team either way. I thought they were probably going to be just on the outside of it. They were, I suppose, comfortably on the inside of it. They could even play very poorly down the stretch, and it did not matter because they were a playoff team. I think they reached pretty much in the regular season, they reached their ceiling. I think their ceiling in these playoffs is win around. And they got a favorable matchup, so let's see if they win around.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back even during the season, the first couple of months, I'd be going to games and I'll be like, Steves?
Who?
Like Aspero? Like Asimont? All these guys that are just entering your orbit, and you're kind of like, this certainly won't be a playoff team. And yet, here they are.
Marco Sturm's done a good job.
Absolutely.
Really good job. We'll talk more about that. 617-779-0985. Mike Vrabel thoughts. We haven't gotten into the Red Sox that much today. I do want to get into them at some point before we get back to the Celtics as we get ready for the very, very big, very exciting Celtics-Sixers matchup. I'm sure the Sixers have a chance, as they always do. Oh, wait, they haven't beaten the Celtics since 1982. Did they have electricity in 1982?
The Simpsons had not begun yet.
That's how long ago it was. Were they playing NBA Finals games live at that point or on tape delay?
I do believe at that point they had gone live.
I'm not convinced they had gone live in 1982. Miracle on Ice was tape delay.
That's true.
That's how long ago it was. They did not show sporting events live.
Wasn't Bird's rookie year 3 years before that?
Yeah.
Bird was a big driver of the live, I bet.
We'll effort that. We're going to effort that during the break. 1980?
That was his rookie year.
AI says?
That was his 79.
Well, we're going to find this out. That's how long it's been. Games may or may not have been played live on television for people to see.
1982. 1982.
That was the first year they went live.
Consistently airing live in primetime. All of them.
Oh, at 1 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's the last time the Sixers beat the Celtics. Not going to happen again. So here in the modern era, where we show sports as they happen live on television, we'll continue. Matt McCarthy, Michael Hurley, here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5.
Matt, I have some fears about how much longer you'll be able to do it this year. So knock yourself out.
They suck. They're really bad. Really, really bad. I've got some stats for you. Now, I'm not a stats guy. I like watching it with my eyes, and my eyes say they are not good. Here's some home runs that have been hit this year. Yordan Alvarez has 9. Aaron Judge has 8. Jordan Walker has 8. The Boston Red Sox, everybody, 12. Last in the big leagues.
That's
12.
crazy.
I'm shocked they have 12 home runs. I've watched most Red Sox games this year, as I always do. I can't count 12 home runs. I don't know where they came from. I actually think that's a lie.
I can tell you they got a big one from Abreu, the opening series, to force extra innings in Cincinnati.
Yep. Trevor Story homered the other day.
Contreras hit a bomb when they were down 5-1 in the ninth with 2 outs. He got the Wally head.
That was a nuke, yeah.
We can individually remember the 12 home runs.
Yeah.
Or most of them.
How many does Caleb Durbin have?
I don't believe he's found the warning track yet.
I don't think he's found the outfield yet. They stink. They are a bad, bad product. Contreras has 3. Abreu has 3. Cedar Rafael has 1. I don't remember that one. Roman Anthony has a homer. Where'd that happen?
Wasn't it a pinch hit?
They were down big, right? Was that in Houston? He homered in Houston?
Yeah.
Jaron Duran has 0. Trevor Story has 2. And Caleb Durbin, again, shockingly, has 0. The Red Sox have 7 hitters who are qualifying hitters around baseball right now. Caleb Durbin batting a .133 with a .418 OPS. Trevor Story a .188, 508 OPS. And Jaron Duran 172 with a .520 OPS, and we will continue to sit Masataka Yoshida on the bench every single day so Jaron Duran can continue to play baseball.
And just to follow, it was a pinch hit, so Roman Anthony's home run came. They were down 6-3 in Houston in the ninth. So I don't know how you forgot that one.
I had turned the game off in anger and disgust at that point. They're awful. They're terrible. And Brian Bayo yesterday offended me once again. That guy is a terrible, terrible watch. You go into it saying, this isn't going to be good, and somehow it's even worse and more disappointing and more frustrating than you thought it was going to be in the first place. Some of his stats, and this courtesy of Brian Barrett, I got to pull some of this stuff up. Brian Bayo, I mean, when you really break it down, just how offensive this guy is. This is from Brian Barrett. I'll just read you the tweet because it's so good. Unprofessional outing from Bayo. He was not ready to go yet again. Opponents are hitting. Get this, Hurley. 276 against him in the first inning since the start of 2024. This guy sucks early in games, sucks in day games. He's in his age 27 season, still hasn't figured out his pitch mix. It's all true. This guy is so frustrating to watch. Somebody said this to me a few years ago. Why does Brian Bayo pitch like he has Rich Hill stuff?
Right.
That guy, I can't even use the term to describe him. He pitches like a wimp. He has no idea how to attack hitters, no idea what he's doing, storms off the mound, is a mental case on the mound. He is half a Buchholz, 3/4 of a Buchholz. It's like watching Clay Buchholz pitch every 5 days. Enough is enough with this guy.
So
why is he still here?
You didn't last year think he had turned the corner? Because last year was pretty good.
And you know what happened when the weather got cold in September? He sucked. How many pitches did he throw in an inning in the third in Yankee Stadium in Game 2 before Cora said, I can't do this. I gotta bail. And I gotta turn this game into a bullpen game because this guy can't hack it. And they lost that game because they ran out of bullpen arms at the end. They tried to extend Whitlock too long because Bayo could only give them 28 pitches.
28 pitches.
Brian Bayo's a problem. Get him out of here. But they can't because the contract's really good. And they didn't want to trade him for Ketel Marte. Well, this is what you get. A guy who will never fulfill his potential. Just like Jaron Duran, who will never fulfill his potential. Because he's not cut out for it. Brian Bayo, not cut out for it. Jaron Duran, not cut out for it. $1 million arm, 10-cent head. Same thing with Duran. All-star player, 10-cent head. This is it. This is the team you've built. A team that has no power, no pop, is supposed to be able to pitch, but they can't pitch because Brian Bayo, you're counting on guys like that.
I have some bad news for you, Matt.
It's not getting better?
Well, you've got that part covered. My issue yesterday, like Bayo, I didn't really expect much better than that. My issue is this offense. You talk about stinks. Bottom of the fifth.
Awful.
Bases loaded. Nobody out. Against our obviously one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a professional baseball team. You should be able to score some runs. Instead, in 5 pitches, Skubal gets out of it with just allowing the 1 run. Connor Wong grounds into a tailor-made double play on a 1-2 count. And then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who I don't know if a baseball player has ever made me feel less anything than Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Nick Punto.
Punto had a little personality, maybe. Like this, the coolest thing about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is that people call him IKF. I don't understand. He steps up and pops up. Get out of that one. Next inning, first and third, nobody out. Contreras, arguably your best player this year, comes up, strikes out looking at a pitch well below the zone, and doesn't challenge. Like, of all of the times,
Right.
I don't know if he's not allowed to because of his first inning challenge in the whatever they were a couple weeks ago. That is when you challenge. First and third, nobody out, a strikeout looking, and then you don't score. Because after that, Story struck out.
Yep.
When you just need to put the ball,
Shocker.
you just got to put the ball in play there. And then Abreu ended it. So it's like the 5th and 6th. You have a good opportunity to score runs. It was 4-0. Then it's 4-1. You have a chance to cut into it to make it a game, and you just aren't nearly good enough.
We make a lot of the Red Sox payroll, rightfully so. Of course, they have not spent enough money on this team in recent years. They are 12th right now in cash spending, 6th in luxury tax spending, 12th in cash spending. However you shake it out. And, they'll argue that they pay, they've got, they're spending all the resources that they can on this team. I've kind of had enough of that discussion. Here's what I do know. However, whatever money you've given Craig Breslow, whether it's the $265 million that's on the luxury tax, or I don't know where 12th is, if it's $190 million, whatever it is, whether it's $190, $260, it doesn't matter. How is this the roster you've built with the money that you were given? Because this roster stinks. Their lineup is the worst in baseball. 12 home runs, 12 home runs, 12 home runs. How? How do you build this? Craig Breslow, read this again from Brian Barrett. Craig Breslow said this winter, quote, "Home runs are a foolproof way to put runs on the board." This is the lineup you construct? How do you do this? How is it this bad?
And it's even affecting your brain, because I saw your tweet the other night. A chopper from Masataka Yoshida that isn't out 9 times out of 10 got you being like, he should play more. And you know what? You aren't wrong.
I'm not wrong.
But you're also not right, because it speaks to the state of the roster, where it's like, this is what you're pining for, a guy chopping it 3 feet in front of the plate and it happening to win the game. Like, it's better than what they've got going.
Yes, it is.
It's in play.
It's better than what they have going. Yoshida should be in the lineup every single day at this point until somebody else proves they, should play over him. But I hear what you're saying, Hurley, but at the same,
you want home runs. I don't think
he's not going to. He's a one-tool player, but at least he puts his bat on the ball. And he's a good hitter for what that's worth. Can't field, can't run.
Played
can't
left field
throw.
on Easter. I didn't know that. I showed up to Easter.
He's risen. He's
running in, catching balls.
Masataka Yoshida. He's, holy crap, back out there again. Who saw this coming?
Yeah, I saw that from you, and I'm like, that is more of a state on where this team is, that Matt McCarthy is like, hey, you know what? We need more Masa.
But I'm not wrong.
You're not. But it's
not good.
There's no right answer. I don't think Alex Cora has anything that he can do to make this team good.
Yeah, he does. He can play the best options that he has. And Yoshida is the best option right now. So if that involves benching Jarren Duran, who sucks, hasn't hit, and is flipping off fans, and is obviously... the reason Jarren Duran really flipped off the fan in Minnesota?
Because he's hitting 170?
He was dropped down the 7th in the order that day. So he hears it more. This is who Duran's been his whole career. Duran has proven to fans in every other town, here, there, everywhere, that he hears you. And then he'll respond to you if he's struggling. The whole, tennis racket, you need a tennis racket, and he drops the homophobic slur on the guy. Yeah, that's because the guy's ripping him. And he's struggling, and he hears it. so he responds.
I mean, the tennis racket really crossed the line.
Really did.
Outrageous.
Really did.
So what is your ideal starting nine?
Okay.
You've got in your outfield. Just start there. You have like Rafael and Abreu are hitting decently. So then you stick Anthony out there, or do you put Yoshida? Like that's you've got a defensive problem.
You do, which is not good for a team that's built around run prevention. Here's what I do. Organizationally, they're not going to let you bench Duran every day, because if you bench him at this point, he's gone. He's done. You're not getting anything from him. I mean, he's in the tank. He's not bouncing back from that. That player, Jarren Duran, he's not bouncing back from that. And they probably still want to trade him. So, I mean, good luck with that at this point. But organizationally, they're not going to let you bench Duran. What you do is you move Rafaela to the infield. And I hate it. I don't like it. I don't feel good about any of this. But Caleb Durbin's batting $130. They don't have any other infielders. Otherwise, you're putting Isaiah Kiner-Falefa out there. Rafaela to the infield. It gets your best offensive nine, which is still not good. Your best offensive nine. Duran in center, which I hate. He's a terrible outfielder. Anthony in left. Yoshida DH. Abreu in right. Rafaela at second. Meyer at third.
So last year when they had Rafael at second, I was like, this is one of the dumbest things that any team is doing right now because of his elite play in center field. Like, his play in center field is game changing.
It has not been this year.
This is what I said last year. This year it has not been.
No.
So I would be more open to that, but it's not as if you don't have a glut of human beings in the infield either. Like between Meyer, between Durbin, between Monasterio and Kiner-Falefa and Story, I don't know that there's a best group there to put on the field every day.
You know, so another thing, you say, what can Alex Cora do? He can play the best guys in the best spots. And are they good enough? No. But he's choosing not to play the best guys in the best spots because Trevor Story's playing shortstop. Right now, Marcelo Meyer is their best shortstop. Now, he hasn't hit, but Trevor Story hasn't either. But we can't possibly move Trevor away from short. We don't want to hurt his feelings.
29 strikeouts.
He's a bad baseball player and has been for 5 years. And I know last year he went 25-30, and that was a mirage. And you know who knew it was a mirage? Trevor Story. It's why he didn't opt out. Because he knew baseball knew it was a mirage. He knew he wasn't getting that contract. That was smart. Smart of him to stick around and get his $23 million a year, because he wasn't getting that anywhere else. Nobody was going to look at last year and say, that's sustainable with this guy. No way. Guy's been here for 4.5 years. He's sucked for 4 of them.
This is tough.
That's your Red Sox update.
I just don't see it getting better. We started this talk saying, I just think they went to St. Louis and Minnesota, and you say, you win both series, you come back 8-10, you're on stable ground. You can't. You go 3-3. I think you look at coming up, you have 3 straight series against the AL East. You say, win 2 of those, you'll be okay. They won't. They just and you can just save yourself the trouble, because you're going to be sitting there in September and they're going to be 4.5 games out of the last wild card spot. And you say, oh, if they could just sweep this weekend, they'll be back in business. They won't. They just aren't going to be as good as you want them to be. They just don't have the manpower for it. And we're seeing it daily. When they do win, you saw what it took Friday. A Herculean effort. Ranger Suarez going 8 scoreless. You have Chapman giving up 3 base runners in the 9th, but getting a miraculous tag at second base to get out of trouble. It takes Jarren Duran being safe on 2, taking an extra base twice because the guy dropped the ball. That is what it takes for you to win a game 1-0.
Right.
It takes everything to win one game. They're just not good enough.
We'll get back to the Bruins and the Celtics next. However, when we do come back, I will give you today's Red Sox starting lineup, which is so bad.
Is Nick Punto in there?
He might as well be. This is... I will do 30 seconds on it, and then we'll get back to the teams that, are actually good and care and try. And, have a manager who hasn't quit on them. Yeah. Have a little bit of power. I mean, right. Who would hit more home runs right now? The Boston Bruins or the Boston Red Sox? How many dingers do you think Zadorov could pop if you... Yeah.
Swayman could be an athlete. I don't think Pasternak, you don't want him swinging too heavy of a bat.
They could do more than Caleb Durbin, who is in the lineup today.
He's not a grown man.
No, he is. They would not let him play hockey. That doesn't work for hockey's grown man fetish. It just doesn't This doesn't happen. All right, we'll continue. McCarthy and Hurley.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Tire Studio. The game is on the Sports Hub.
Goes to the backhand and scores! Two-hand slam!
Boston's home for sports.
I love this team!
98.5, the Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Big day in Boston sports with the Celtics and Bruins both kicking off their playoff runs. Celtics getting things started, hosting the 76ers at TD Garden at 1 p.m. Grandy and Max will have your pregame coverage on the Sports Hub starting at 12:30 p.m. Elsewhere in the Eastern Conference playoffs, the Cavs won Game 1 over the Raptors, and the Knicks beat the Hawks in Game 1 of their series. Later tonight, the Bruins will open up their first-round series in Buffalo. Puck drop is at 7:30 with Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers starting pregame coverage on the Sports Hub at 7 p.m. In baseball, the Red Sox are supposed to have Garrett Crochet on the mound today. Crochet coming off a baffling outing in Minnesota where he allowed 10 earned runs and 11 overall in just 1 2/3 innings. The Red Sox moved their start time to 4:35 because of the rain. They'll try to dodge the raindrops later at Fenway. And big draft news in the NFL, draft week news, I should say. The Bengals traded the 10th overall pick to the Giants for defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. The Giants now own the 5th and the 10th overall pick in the first round on Thursday night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the juicy chopped sirloin. All Big Deal Meals are now available all day, every day, for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm Michael Hurley. Next headlines during Celtics pregame.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station.
He scores!
It's the Sports Hub. No matter what team, no matter what player, no matter what coach, no matter what game, it all happens here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's way too long for my liking. But I will give you today's lineup if they end up playing.
Get it while you can, Matt, because in August, I'm not sure you'll even be able to get 7 minutes.
May. August? You kidding me? May. We're not going to be able to get 7 minutes out of these guys. Here's your lineup today against lefty Framber Valdez. Again, assuming they play. Roman Anthony leading off. He's in left field. Your guy Andrew Monasterio batting second. He's playing first base. Wilson Contreras DHing. Trevor Story with his 180 batting average and his 500 OPS. He's your cleanup hitter again today. Playing shortstop where he shouldn't play because he stinks. Willie Abreu in right field batting fifth, followed by Rafaela Durbin, Narvaez, and your guy, IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, batting ninth. That's your lineup today.
You know what, though? I had, when they had that finale in Minnesota, the lineup they put out that day was gruesome, and they ended up scoring 9 runs. So, what do I know? That lineup had Yoshida third, Story cleanup, Duran fifth, Monasterio, Meyer, Wong, Kiner-Falefa. That lineup I looked at and was like, wow. And then they put up 9 runs. So,
well, Yoshida's batting .310 with a .890 OPS in limited action, I will say. You're not going to play him back-to-back days? So that's what I look at with this lineup. You got to put Yoshida in there. But I think the other story coming out of this, besides how terrible it is that we finally admitted to ourselves that Jarren Duran is a platoon player. So I'm glad we didn't trade him. But we finally said, you know what? He's a platoon player. Back-to-back days not playing against a lefty. I know Alex Cora loves him a platoon. Feels very strongly about platoons because he was a platoon player himself. But, yeah, that's good.
Monasterio in the 2-hole playing first. Contreras at DH. Do you think he's got the back? Do you think that's still biting at him?
Yeah.
That's
Probably.
not great. That's like something you cannot afford. Is occupying your DH with someone who can actually play the field.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, it could be that, or it could just be he's trying to get as many righties in the lineup as he can. That's actually the way I look at it, is he wants Monasterio, he wants Kiner-Falefa, and wants Durbin in the lineup.
Hell yeah.
Boom. This infield. Here's your Red Sox infield today, from left to right. Durbin, Story, Kiner-Falefa, Monasterio. That is... Is that the worst Red Sox infield of all time? 617-779-0985. Enough on them. Celtics, Sixers. Winning this series in 5 or less, right?
Yeah.
What do you have them? 4 or 5?
I go 4. You know why? Because everyone does 5, and it's like, just if you want to be a Bear, be a Grizzly. Just be bold.
Rawr.
Yeah. So sweep it.
They're not going to sweep this series. Maxi's going to have a game. I think the Sixers team might actually be better without Embiid because they can run. I mean, Embiid just slows them down. They're going to win a game because they can run, and the Celtics are going to be cold from 3.
Defending the Celtics is so difficult that, like, Maxi's not a good defensive player.
No, defending the Celtics is difficult until the Celtics defend themselves by, and they're not shooting as many threes this year, but they're going to have a game in this series where they don't shoot it well, and that's that, and Maxi's going to go off, and they're going to lose. But you're right, like, consistently, can the Sixers defend the Celtics? No. Of course they can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible, but 5. 5's a boring prediction. I go sweep.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to be truthful. I mean, they're going to win this thing in 5 because that's just the way I see it playing out. The NBA is going to extend a game. Maxi's going to go off, do something. The Celtics aren't going to shoot well. That's going to happen. But are we going to learn anything about the Celtics in this series?
I think we still have something to learn about Tatum. Like, he had a slow ramp up, and then we saw him sort of elevate to what we think his peak is going to be right now.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of like, all right, cool. Playoffs are coming up. So, he's got to get back there. And does the offense run through Jaylen Brown? I think it should. I think it's a better... Tatum can still be very involved with the offense without being the primary ball handler. And I think they're better for it.
I'm with you.
You have fewer empty possessions. Jaylen Brown is looking to do more and doesn't sort of have the escape hatch of I'll just chuck a 3 if something's not there.
No, I think they're better off running the offense through Brown at this point. I also think Tatum's a good facilitator. When Tatum's shot isn't falling, he still finds ways to impact the game positively because I think he makes his teammates better.
But isn't that interesting?
Good rebounder.
He's almost a better passer not being the primary ball handler because when it gets to him, the defense is sort of collapsing or crashing on him, and he has sort of elite ability to make some really, really difficult passes that make the team better. To your point,
he's got good vision when it comes to that. I mean, I think they are better off running it through Brown at this point. Brown's the better player. I mean, Tatum's not 100%. I mean, would I rather have 100% of Jaylen Brown or 80% of Jason Tatum or whatever that calculation is? I think it's 100% of Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, and then it's some of those secondary players in the postseason because postseason basketball is different. You got to play the same team every night, and they're going to adjust to you. Like if Kata goes off tonight and is just they leave him alone and he has 20 points, it's going to be different in game 2, and you're going to have to adapt. And then you're going to need guys like Hauser and Pritchard. I don't really count, and they've had the experience. But your Shiremans, whether Walsh gets in there, like Vucevic is a big question. So there's a lot. That's what we'll learn in this series.
So I couldn't agree more. I'm fascinated with that in this series. How do they manage the rotations? What do you get from first timers essentially being asked to contribute? Shireman's been great. What do you get from him in the playoffs? Do you get the typical role players are better at home than they are on the road? I mean, you're going to learn some things. How's Joe Mazzulla going to manage his rotations? Is he going to be flexible within this series when it comes to his rotations? Because flexibility, I would say, was not a strength of Joe Mazzulla's last year. Stubbornness is his greatest weakness as a head coach. It is his Achilles heel. He went into that Knicks series with a plan last year. We bomb away from 3, and that's how we do it. And they ignored everything, the facts that were being put in their face that you should not keep shooting these 3s, and they did because this is how we do it.
And it's not it's not a major philosophical shift. They went from 48 threes a game to 42 threes a game, and that's all we were asking for.
Yep.
We weren't saying don't shoot the 3. It's saying pay attention.
Right. Do they fall back into that trap again this year? I tend to think no, because I think it was such a failure last year. They'll never admit that it was a failure, but that was a failure. Going 25 for 100 in games 1 and 2. But do they have a lapse here and there? What does that lapse look like? Because game 1 last year, you could say, all right, that was an accident. But then they doubled it up in game 2, and then it was, oh crap, where's this thing going? And they won game 3. They had lost game 4 by the time Tatum tore his Achilles. They had already lost that series by the time that Tatum tore his Achilles. I mean, I guess they could have found a way to come back and win games 5, 6, and 7. I mean, the way they look, though, I mean, the chances are that was not going to happen. So I do think there's a lot to learn. I think Joe Mazzulla has a lot to prove in these playoffs coming off of last year, because I think he was one of the faces of failure last year. I don't know how you could look at it any other way. So an interesting series, no doubt.
There was no excuse to lose to the Knicks last year. I don't think there's an excuse to lose to the Knicks this year when it comes to that, which we all assume will happen. But I think it's a real possibility. Like they have sort of a bugaboo in the Knicks, and they have to work through that. They have to get over it. Obviously, it starts with this series, but that's where my mind is. It's like on paper, logically, we could discuss it. The Celtics should beat the Knicks. I thought they should have beat the Knicks in 5 games last year. They lost to the Knicks in 6 games, and they've got to get through that. They had a chance to win there a few weeks ago. They blew it. I don't know that Josh Hart is going to have that night every time against you. He had a season high in points, I think he had that night. But these things keep happening, and you're going to have to manage that after you take care of the Sixers.
We'll get you game ready. Granny and Max come your way at 12:30. We will wrap this show up next here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
argue, the best Boston day of the year. It's our holiday. You have the marathon, which is a great event. I mean, there's so many great stories that come out of the marathon. It's a remarkable human achievement to run 26 miles. It's insane. Good luck to Tim McCone and everybody else running the marathon tomorrow.
I've run 26 miles.
Not at one time.
Total. Yeah. At least 26 at this point. Maybe even 30.
Good for you.
In my life.
I hate running. It's the worst thing. I tried it. When McCone started running the marathon marathons a few years ago, it's like, anybody can do it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Anybody can do it. And then I went to the gym for like 3 days in a row. I'm like, I'm going to run the marathon. Tim can do this. My friend can do. No. Out.
I'll give you about a mile and a half, and then everything in my body just says, what are you
Why are you doing this?
Yeah. Do something else. Go
Anything.
throw a ball against the wall.
Yeah. Walk.
I'm not built for it. Not built for it.
I don't know how people do it. It's a remarkable human achievement, but good luck to everybody tomorrow. But seriously, you get Marathon Monday, a Patriots Day game. We'll be coming off 2 game ones for the Bruins and the Celtics. NFL draft this week. It does not get one of the best weeks of the year, bar none. Yeah, battle reenactments. That's your area, Hurley. You go to the Lexington Battle Green.
Well, I thought you were saying the reenactments are my area. I'm like, are they? I could get into that.
You're not that old.
I'm from Arlington.
Yeah.
AKA Monotony. You might read in the history books.
Sure have.
Formerly West Cambridge before that.
You can just, walk along Paul Revere's route.
The Jason Russell house still has the little musket holes in the wall.
When's the, did they do Lexington tomorrow or is it over the weekend? The Battle Green reenactment.
I genuinely don't know, but I think maybe that could be my midlife crisis. Everyone has one.
Become a battle reenactor?
I think I want to be a redcoat, obviously.
And of course, you want to
die dramatically on the green.
Well, I don't think many redcoats died on the green.
Well, I will. I'll be one. That's my luck.
You're gonna take. I think like one redcoat died on the green.
Really?
It was a bunch of colonists who died on the green.
Just a slaughter is what you're saying.
No, it was.
Huh.
Which is why people got pissed, and then they went to that bridge. And there were a whole bunch of them. Redcoats took a beating on the way back to Boston. They didn't take a beating on their way to Concord.
Oh. So Paul Revere overrated if we do a little sports talk?
Definitely overrated. He didn't even make it to Concord. The other riders did.
Right. You don't hear about them. Did you have to memorize that poem in 5th grade like I did?
Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
On the 18th of April, that's probably when they do the reenactment. This morning, I bet they did it. On the 18th of April of 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year. Kind of ironic to put that in the first verse of a poem that everyone has to memorize for 100 years, 200 years.
Only one British soldier was injured.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is at Lexington?
At Lexington. No, Lexington was not good for us.
Wow.
But the rest of the
blowout.
The rest of the day was a blowout for us.
So this is a comeback story.
It is.
The American Revolution.
Well, I mean, you should know this. You grew up on the route.
We actually had a teacher come in high school, and he was from Pennsylvania or something. He's like, oh, you guys are from this. You must go there all the time. And we were like, literally like, bro, never been to the green of Lexington Common.
It's awesome. I highly recommend it.
I've driven past
I tried to walk the Battle Road in March. It was still very snowy. 73 British soldiers died, though, on that day. Well, that's because on the retreat. The retreat was not good for them.
Got their ass.
Oh, no, they got that ass, for sure. I mean, that was musket balls all over the place.
Not going to lie, they had us in the first half.
Oh, they did. They did, Hurley. They did. But no, they hid behind trees on the way back, and because they're wearing those bright red. So that would be you. You'd make it through Lexington. Be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're good here. And then you get clipped by some dude hiding behind a tree.
And then you just got to lie there?
Farmer.
How long are these reenactments?
I don't think it's that long.
Did I lie there for like 40 minutes, though? Well, everyone was... Poof, poof, poof.
Lexington was not a 40-minute battle. It was quick. It was a little skirmish. It was a blowout.
What about the cannons? Can I light the cannons?
Like, be the guy who does that on the 4th of July when they play the 1812 Overture?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I volunteer. I want to be that dude who gets to fire the cannons.
A lot of pressure.
It can't be that hard. They tell you you pull the thing, right? Boom. The loading it. Now, I don't want to be the guy who loads it.
Risky.
Very risky. Put your face in front of that thing? You don't want to do that.
This was probably the most ignorant American Revolution talk that's ever happened in public. So we've made history today.
I think I brought my...
You
I
did.
carried my weight.
This was not an insult of you.
You, Arlington boy, you didn't carry your weight.
when you grow up in it, it is what it is.
I grew up in the same area too, but I've been there. I've done that. I've walked the green. I've walked the battle road.
We should at some point have a D'Agostino's battle if we're doing Arlington Winchester, because I'll tell you that Winchester one, it's not the real deal. It's fine. It's good stuff, but
listen, I was on the Arlington side of Winchester.
Okay.
Been to that Mass Ave location many times.
Yeah.
Wrong side of the country club, Hurley. Okay.
All right. I funny enough, I was on the Winchester side of Arlington, so we were like neighbors.
That's unfortunate. Sorry for you on that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So you like the Celtics in 5 in
Four.
series? 4.
Celtics
You're
in
taking
4.
the Celtics in 4.
That's the Hurley prediction.
Okay, there we go.
What about the Bruins?
I like the Bruins in 7.
7.
Bees in 7.
And if they win that series, like, that's a heck of a year. It already is a heck of a year.
Honestly, if they represent themselves well in this series, which I think they will, because it's hockey, that's just the way it is. Like, teams don't get blown out in hockey. Then it's a successful year for the Bruins. I think Sturm's done a hell of a job. I just don't believe in this Buffalo team. The experience factor is real. It's real. Not so much the goalie factor, but the experience factor in this series very much favors the Bruins, and I like that.
And don't forget, 3 U's, 6 K's, 1 L in Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
I'm not making as much out of the goaltending as you are.
It matters, though.
As we found out, it really doesn't. It doesn't matter as much as you think it does.
You do win some series.
Again, we went through the last 6 Bruins playoff series. They had the decided advantage in the majority of them.
They won half of them. So you can win this one. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Tremendous name.
It's beautiful.
Finnish, I assume?
Of course.
It's a very Finnish name.
27 years old. No playoff experience. Career .900 save percentage. You should be able to score. If you can score 3 goals a game, you're going to win.
This is Boston's home for sports. Touchdown! The flagship station of the Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics. WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting.
This is Shaw's and Star Market Celtics Today. Download the Star Market Deals and Delivery app today.
Jay, the left-hand dribble drive, pulls up at the dotted line.